You can talk to humans, I can talk to Pokemon. And if you want to find your pops, we're gonna need each other.
No, I don't need a Pokemon.
What about a world-class detective?
Pokemon Detective Pikachu is directed by Rob Letterman, I believe, and it stars Justice Smith and Ryan Reynolds. Pokemon Detective Pikachu is based on the game Detective Pikachu, of which Pikachu is a detective. He's a world-class detective, and he's out to solve a case. Of course, relating to this whole conspiracy involving corporations and Mewtwo and Pokemon and whatnot. And it is, of course, wait for it, I may not have said this before, but it's even better than Tomb Raider. It is the best video game movie ever. And by best, I mean like a solid film. I can turn around to this film and be like, hey, this film is good. Can't tell if I was pointing my fingers at my Doctor Strange poster or my Detective Pikachu poster, but it's boom, that one. You can't see my doing my hips and everything, so it's barely not even worth putting in the video. It didn't feel like it was treating itself as a video game movie. It felt like it gave off exposition in a relatively ordinary way, and I'm like, alright, so we got that good exposition done the right way. I think there was one scene in the film where like, alright, do you guys really trying to do this? It was like this long monologue from this news reporter girl, and she's like, I'm actually this, and I walk the walk, I talk the talk, and all this sort of stuff. And then I was just sitting there going, huh. It feels like they copied and pasted that straight from the video game. I don't have Detective Pikachu on my DS, so I don't know how accurate that assumption is, but it's either on the video game or that is poorly written dialogue. Like, you got two choices. But, you know, the exposition is relatively well done, especially in terms of the point of battles and superpowers beyond Pokemon and what types of Pokemon there actually are. I think it overall does a really nice job. Rob Letterman's direction, it's fine. Obviously, there are a couple of visual elements which I think worked really well in terms of direction, but I think the real savior of this film is the script and how generic it just gives across its exposition. It's just like, oh yeah, and this. Like, it doesn't treat the audience like it's an idiot. I reckon if you made a Pokemon movie nowadays with the rules that you just introduced in Detective Pikachu, you would have not a very good movie. But the fact that you stuck so well with the mystery element of the Detective Pikachu like story, like that it genuinely was like mystery first, video game movie second, that it put its story before the actual adaptation, I think was a really good job. Ryan Reynolds, he does a good job as voicing Pikachu. Obviously, it's one of those casting where it's like, and we needed a big star, and I looked at it and going, he did a fine job. It's not like we could have had anyone else do it. It comes across so much more of a character when Ryan Reynolds voices him, and it's like he comes off as funny, more witty, and very quick with his words and how he gets his point across. Justice Smith, I think, did a fine job. Of course, I've seen him in stuff before. I think he did a great job here. I think the action throughout the film, when it came up, I think was okay. Obviously, there are a lot more different things you can do with Pokemon in terms of action, because Pikachu, for a majority of the movie, you know, we're just seeing everything through Pikachu, so it doesn't really feel very action-packed. It's very much a mystery film. I reckon it's a mystery film before anything else. I think the one thing that obviously makes this film only okay is that it never really felt like it was going to be a mind-blowing twist, or that it felt very paint by the numbers. Alright, we're doing this to try and see if we can get it right, because if we get it right, we're heroes for the genre. It's because I was looking at this movie going, alright, and we're gonna have this beat, and we're gonna have this beat, and we're gonna have this beat, and we're gonna get from here to here doing this and this and this, and this is exactly how we're gonna end up like this, and actually this stuff is actually this stuff. And you know what? I was right about literally every single thing. You watch one YouTube video, try and understand all the Pokemon that comes up in like with the first trailer, and it's just like, oh yeah, and now I know everything. You know, partly my fault, partly on the fact that I'm like, and it's sort of predictable. Didn't feel like it was very special in any way, and I do hold no hope that this actually will change the video game genre. I don't think it will. I can't think that there's a huge lesson for anyone to take away from learning from Detective Pikachu, aside from maybe putting your story way before the actual fact of having a video game adaptation. Because if you removed Pokemon from this film, still an okay film. Like, you could have just turned it into cats and dogs, and you know what? Would have just been a fine film. Everyone would go like, well, that was okay. Obviously, what makes this more impressive is that it's actually Pokemon. Like, it didn't feel like it was very special or you know, refine for why it was Pokemon doing this story. And, you know, looking at what we've got coming up later this year with Sonic the Hedgehog of all things. What a thing.
Meow?
Alright, we're not going to learn anything from Detective Pikachu for years until people look at it in a different way. So I would say that Pokemon Detective Pikachu is an overnight rental. For me, it was just fine, it was predictable, and it was overdone, and I looked at it going like, alright, I have seen this before. So have you seen Pokemon Detective Pikachu? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to comment on Platypus, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye. Well done, you made it to the end of the video. Why don't you click on one of these two videos for more content, or subscribe, so just be reminded of when I upload, so you know, subscribe. That'd be great.